And I went senior by senior, and I'm like, how are you using AI? And every answer repeatedly across at least 50 of them was like, we're not allowed to.
I know.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the DevOps Roundup. Today we have Hector Flores, and we're going to be talking about agents and a lot of other cool stuff. So, Hector, welcome to the pod.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, Hector.
I hear you had a career change. Let's talk
Yes.
about that a little bit. What inspired that? How did that transpose?
Yeah, so I mean, I was I went from development to full stack development to DevOps. Fell in love with DevOps because the complexity is much harder than programming, in my opinion. Because things break, you have to be resilient,
And then they break.
and then they break again, and you got to be more resilient. So you're constantly in this cycle of just fixing stuff, and then you create automation. So I love DevOps. But then when agentic development came in, I found that I was able to do, I think, like 10 of my different work streams all at the same time in like the course of an hour. And usually it would take me like a month to maintain all of this. And it just opened my eyes to like, oh my gosh, this is going to be way different, right? Like this, development as a whole is changing. And so I just wanted to get on the train. I wanted to just be good at this one thing. I wanted to be good at developing with agentic tools. So I just completely rebranded myself. I'm like, you know what? Removing DevOps from my name on LinkedIn and everything. I just removed it. I'm like, no, I'm an agentic SME or agentically inspired. How about that? Because I'm not a SME yet. And so, change roles, move companies, and now that's all I do. And so, yeah, that's really the motive for the change.
So what tool are you embracing now?
Right now I'm using GitHub Copilot. Yeah, GitHub Copilot is my tool of choice.
What you've tried? How did you land on that?
I mean, well, honestly, the role that I'm in is it motivates me to use GitHub Copilot. But also, I mean, in general, in the organization where I had this like a big epiphany, we were using GitHub. We had an initiative to use agentic tools. GitHub Copilot was the closest to our platform. We started using that. And then, using the Claude models and all that stuff. Basically, we're able to use the best models whenever a model would come out. That model, before the even release would come out, we would have it available, like in GitHub. So I was able to use the latest models, which was awesome. But yeah, GitHub Copilot is the one that I've been using.
Yeah, we've had a lot of success with the anti-gravity. Well, at least I have. John had it, and then he kind of gave up on it.
Yeah, I haven't played with it in probably almost a week.
Oh, okay. I haven't tried anti-gravity.
Yeah, anti-gravity is interesting. I've been playing with Claude is my next one that I'm trying to I guess master.
Yes.
And then for me personally, I have a huge background in the Atlassian ecosystem, and Atlassian has their own form of agents and something called Robo, and then the subset of Robos are agents. And I've been trying to I'm a subject matter expert for YouTube, where I create hundreds of videos on how to use the Atlassian tools.
Mm-hmm.
And Robo's like creeping up high on my list of more information, more trainings, more tutorials, because people want to know how this thing works. But the problem and the frustration we're hitting on the Robo front is it doesn't quite work yet.
Okay, well, there you go. Like most things, they always start not working, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, except this one's 2 years into it.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Well, that's not good.
How do you like? One of the things that worries me the most in this new agentic AI era is how do we feed our families and children? And so you've shifted. You're going deep into it. So how do you foresee yourself being able to maintain a job, money, income, food on the table? What does that look like?
Yeah, really good question. I've been thinking about this a lot. In fact, that was one of the motives I changed. Right? I'm like, well, I mean, I no longer can just say I'm a great developer, because that particular skill set, like being just a developer, being able to program,
just the coding part, right?
Just the coding part,
fingers on the keyboard.
Yes, exactly. I know how to make a very optimized for loop, right, or whatever. I don't know. Like
gone are the big old notation days, right? Remember?
Yes, exactly. like that particular skill is not lucrative anymore, right? What's more lucrative is being able to problem solve, being able to bring in context, being able to visualize, larger systems together, being able to come up with ideas, remixing ideas. So I think the bigger skill that is becoming a lot more lucrative is context engineering, right? Like the ability to manipulate context, know how context works. In fact, developers have this innate ability already, right? Like when we develop code, there's a lot of code. So how do you even do that, right? You have to like compartmentalize the different layers of your code base in your mind, and then when you're working on one thing, you kind of mentally think of how that affects some other thing. So we're already doing this. It's just fully trusting it, fully like diving deep into that mental space and then putting it in words. That's really what context engineering is. So I think as far as like job stuff goes, I think it's going to make a huge impact. So as far as like if you're a junior developer that is already wanting to think in that way, that's trying to build, versus a developer that is just being forced to write a piece of code, I think that's the difference.
But you know what, I'll tell you though, that's the scary part though. I just went to my local high school. They have this STEM day where they just have an open house where they're showing off all their projects. And I went senior by senior and I'm like, how are you using AI? And every answer repeatedly across at least 50 of them was like, we're not allowed to.
I know, yes.
And I'm like, that's the biggest mistake you could possibly be making with your life right now.
I'm so like, I think I've ranted on this so many times. The education system needs to change. It just we need to stop not giving them these tools and instead give them the tools, because it teaches them a critical idea, which is how to articulate what's in your mind.
Claude and OpenAI just dropped today a visual learning system for math. So they had about 70 subjects covered, where if you ask it to teach it to you, it now has visuals. So it's not just text-based, but there's some more visuals. And I'm like, my 13-year-old kid is doing this weekend.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I see my 9-year-old struggling with fractions. I told my wife, I'm like, why don't you just feed it through Gipity and have it go because there's like a quiz mode that you can use it in. And I'm like, now with the visual, like it should make it very trivial at that point.
Wow, that's really cool.
So yeah, we're an AI family first here. First family.
Yes. I've already got all my family adopted as well with AI, so it's good. That's really good stuff.
Yeah, definitely in the workplace, I'm seeing that when we're talking to customers are actually asking us, how are we using AI to enhance our deliveries. How when we're delivering a service engagement to a customer, it's kind of seemed like a gotcha question.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say that was like a trick question. I was on that call with you. I'm like, do you want me to say that I have an agent doing all the work?
Which way do you want us to spin this?
Exactly.
But I think they customers want to hear that we're taking advantage of AI to help the customer to keep costs down and to come in under time and under budget.
Have you ever gotten the opposite reaction? Like there's a customer that, oh, you're using AI. AI is horrible. And
6 months ago, that's what I would have thought that this question that the customer asked us on this call.
Oh, okay, got it.
That's where I would have gone negative and like, oh, this is a gotcha. They're trying to trick us into.
No, we do all the work ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, now when we had this question just this week, I think it was, or was it late last
week? Yeah, it was this week.
And I answered that yes.
I almost feel like we were gonna. Yeah, I almost felt like he was going to punish us because Sean's answer was not enough AI.
That's funny.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if we're 100% over that the hill there.
Yes.
That the AI is 100% acceptable. So yeah.
So Hector, what your thoughts and opinions on this, right? So companies laying off a lot of people in lieu of AI. We just saw, again, I come from the Atlassian world, so I say Atlassian a lot. Our audience is very well used to it by now. I am not allowed to mention Elon in any way, shape, or form, though. But anyway, so the promise here is that one engineer can do the work of 1,000 because they just have 1,000 teammates, virtual teammates that can do work for them. How much do you think that's going to bite us in the butt 5, 10, 15 years from now? 5, 10, 15 months from now? Yeah, say months. Do you think it's a good strategy, bad strategy? What do you thoughts there?
I definitely think there's some organizations. It's like you have to have. Okay, so I think I talked about it in a couple videos. Whereas if you're using agentic AI, if you just dive straight in and just throw it at all of your problems, you're gonna, like, the first 2 days is gonna be this euphoric moment where you're gonna be able to create so many things, you're gonna be able to fix so many bugs. But then after the 2 days, the amount of technical debt that you have, which is a normal thing that we all know about, technical debt, but in the AI world, it's called AI slop, right? that's basically what an AI slop is. It's just an extreme version of technical debt to where your applications are going to be unmaintainable. And I think that it is going to happen. I think way sooner than 3 months. I think the first maybe week to a month, organizations are going to lose control of their code bases.
I was having a conversation with a colleague of mine, and we were talking about, again, Robo, which is Atlassian's AI, and she was making it look like, hey, well, you use Robo, you use AI to help you create stuff, and then you review it. I'm like, okay, cool. You can review a document or two. But when Sean and I jumped into anti-gravity, we're talking hundreds of thousands of lines, dozens and dozens of files, like instantly being created. I'm like, there's no way in hell I'm gonna be able to review all this crap.
Exactly. Well, I mean, it's just like in a normal team. If you have a big, like, if let's say you had a team of 100 developers, what stops your application from getting technical debt? Which that's DevOps, right? You have your test cases, you have test case coverage, you have your PR rules, all that stuff. So basically, all of your normal DevOps processes that protect you in a large team, now you need it for when you have agentic development tools, and so to prevent AI slop. So it just goes back to where if an organization doesn't have good DevOps practices and they just throw AI at their repos,
which is what everybody's going to do,
everyone's going to do. The symptom of not having AI and good DevOps practices is like having 100 developers coming with 1 billion opinions.
So that's a business opportunity then, right? We're the cleanup crew.
Exactly. Yeah. You can look at it that way.
Exactly. Janitors. Yeah.
Exactly.
We're gonna be like, you guys watch, John Wick. Then he pays in the coins to come, that cleanup crew come and pick up.
Oh yeah,
the bodies.
Yes, exactly. We're gonna pick up the bodies.
All the AI slop. We should make an AI mop.
Oh, that's the company name, dude. Oh man, that's actually so good.
Hey, are you looking to start a new business?
Oh, that's a good name. AI mop. I'm so okay. I don't know if y'all want to take
for your AI slop.
That is hilarious. Oh man, that's so good.
Yeah.
AI mop.
I mean, that's kind of the stuff that keeps me up a little bit, because going back to the question from earlier, is like, I got to figure out how to feed the family, and the current path is rapidly dwindling.
Yes.
If you're expecting to make money in 18 months, I would say, the same way you're making money today, it's only a matter of time before it replicates across all the industries, regardless of whether you're software or not.
And then that's another thing, is people say AI isn't going to replace my job. Well, no. I think the right phrase is the guy using AI the most is going to replace you. You know, so as long as you dive, that's why I dived into it, because I want to be that. I want to be the AI guy, right? But as long as a developer gets familiar with the tools, knows how to control them, knows how to use them, I think they'll be safe. And so I think that's a better phrase.
I think in software, we kind of have blinders on, and we're only looking to see what AI is doing to the software industry. I think AI is already taken over almost all the other industries. The amount of AI advertisement I get, or marketing materials.
I mean, half the Super Bowl.
Yeah, right? It's just ridiculous. And basically, there's AI travel agencies, there's AI marketing, there's AI sales, and what industry is left that's not going to be AI?
It's almost like I used to work at Northrop, and I had a buddy, and I was like, software's to eating up everything, right? I think some famous developer wrote a book on it. It was like software.
Yeah, IBM.
Yeah. And so he's like, software. He's a electrical engineer. He's like, software's not eating everything. I'm like, name one thing that's not impacted by software. He was like, the cotton gin. I'm like, that was the 1800s, dude.
Yeah, lots of people are using cotton gins. Yeah.
Yep.
Like, so I think the same thing's gonna happen with AI, and I think it's gonna get even more powerful once the voice models get even more mainstream. Because like, my mom fights with Alexa a lot, but the moment that Alexa actually becomes helpful, then we're onto something.
Yes.
My wife argues with Alexa all the time, but a lot of it.
Right, but can you imagine when Alexa's more like a Jarvis-like system, where Jarvis is all knowing and all capable, and actually is effective and can manufacture and build stuff for you? That's just going to change the game completely.
Yes, exactly.
And we're a lot closer to that than we are to science fiction at this point.
Or maybe if she gets better at being able to say what she wants, the more Alexa will know what she wants, and the more, there's less need to Alexa to be smarter, right? Like, I think that's I think in my opinion, I think that's a more realistic agentic path, right? Whereas if people start to be able to, because what we do have is that agents don't have is the knowledge in our own minds. We're a context machine. So if we're able to get all of that out and give it to AI, I mean, it's crazy what it can do. It'll basically replicate what you're doing perfectly. Yeah. If you're able to get it out of your mind, right? A lot of people do this subconscious thing. I've done it as well. I mean, I'm pretty sure you've seen it too, where they subconsciously test AI, right? Like they ask, let's say ChatGPT, and they ask a question that they already know the answer to, but they still ask it to see if it knows, if they say the right thing, right? It's a thing that everyone does. And I think if we were to remove that subconscious thing, it's amazing what the response will be. Like if you just say everything.
Isn't that where OpenClaw is supposed to kind of try to fill in that void?
Well, OpenClaw is a very different concept, right? OpenClaw is actually not complicated. It's actually very simple, but it's putting two things together that makes it dangerous, right? Which is you have an existing like agentic model or agentic harness in this case, right? Which is like GitHub Copilot or Claude Code, and then you have a messaging system, right? And then you connect the two, and then you have this just run all the time. And so now people think that it's sentient, but it's just an agent model just looping and looping.
But that's what it is today. But what does it aspire to be if not your personal assistant that knows everything about you?
I think that OpenClaw inspired the industry, and so I think OpenClaw is like a very unsecure version of what it's going to be. I definitely agree that type of architecture is starting to pop up. I mean, for example, GitHub Copilot, now there's an autopilot mode in the CLI. There's autopilot in other platforms. So like the concept of autopilot, like it inspired the industry. Now all of the different agent harnesses have the concept of autopilot. Like we're no longer thinking about, we're in charge, the agent, we're still in charge. We're kind of like letting that go because of OpenClaw. But we still have to have some security, because then it'll just go crazy.
That's what I was talking to Sean about earlier. I was telling him that with anti-gravity a few weeks ago, we built an application that logs into my Jira and created tasks for me and updated the status of them. But this week, I forgot what we did a few weeks ago, and I didn't quite do the whole API thing. And so rather than it going into the APIs and doing the stuff for me, it started moving my mouse. It opened up a browser, went to Jira, logged in, and then started clicking buttons for me. And I'm in the middle of a live stream. I'm like, I can't do anything with my computer anymore, but this is fun to watch.
Yes.
and like the excuse becomes like, wait, I can't do work because my agent's doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. But I think that's where things are going. It's going that direction. What medium or what environment are we going to give the agent? I think we need to think that thoroughly, because OpenClaw, it was just like exactly OpenClaw, right? We kind of need like a closed claw, right?
Yeah. But then we need the guardrails because Amazon with AWS, they had a couple of incidents this week because
Yes.
all of a sudden they're telling their senior engineers, y'all need to start reviewing your PRs at this point because
Yes.
you don't know what's going on, right?
OpenClaw, there was a lot of vulnerability incidents. There was one that injected the OpenClaw installation command in a bunch of NPM packages on post install. And so there was a bunch of vulnerability incidents across the board. So
that's another business opportunity.
Yeah, another one, another AI slap to mop
AI
up.
guard.
But yeah, I mean, it definitely inspired the industry, though. I definitely believe that. But I don't think it's.
I think so too. I think it's well. That's also the scary part because this inspirations are happening more rapidly than they ever have historically.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yes.
Because like the printing press inspired an industry, but it took a while to get to email.
Oh, it's going so fast. It's just unreal. I'm currently part of so I'm in my job. I'm fortunate to be part of a community where I get to see the latest that's coming out from like GitHub and Microsoft. And it's like every single day there's a meeting and they showcase what's coming. And I'm like, if I miss one meeting, I'm like, I'm behind. I'm just so behind. They're moving things so fast. It's just crazy. I don't know what's going to happen in a year or two. I just don't know.
I'm just the part that worries me the most is I don't know how you stay employed in a year or two.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think the job positions are gonna definitely change. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm actually telling all of my DevOps peeps, right? Like, learn context engineering, learn what agentic harnesses are, because, for example, a good feature that I think I mentioned, which is GitHub agentic workflows. If you haven't looked into that one, but basically it's like GitHub Actions, but it's a prompt with a huge config of guardrails for agents. And so, I mean, just looking at the file, I'm like, this is DevOps. This is the new DevOps. This is the new continuous AI, they call it. So DevOps folks need to just get ramped on context engineering, agentic harnesses, what kind of guardrails they have.
Yeah.
Kind of like we know about CI/CD checks and stuff. Mm-hmm. We got to learn about MCP gateways and stuff like that.
That was a comment that I had with Sean. So back in September, him and I were at JFrog's Swamp Up Summit conference that they had, and they were talking about like, hey, we're trying not to fall behind in the age of AI, but it used to be that you could measure developer productivity because in any given day they could only update X number of files, right? Mm-hmm. And your CI/CD pipelines, your nightly runs were only capturing X number of changes happening day by day, but now by the minute you have the throughput of like a year's worth of work.
Yes.
And so your CI/CD needs to catch up with this and catch so much more.
Yes.
The throughput is just enormous.
Exactly. Yes. I think I wrote an article about this where agentic DevOps, you got to move everything even more left.
Yeah.
Right. Like instead of it being in a PR, like everyone thinks the most mature DevOps process is CI/CD in your PR. Like imagine deploying from a PR. That's actually a very mature DevOps process. Actually, GitHub does this. They deploy directly to production in a PR, but that's still slow for agents. That mean you got to move it to the agent, like down locally, and that's where all of the context engineering stuff comes in, right? There's agent hooks and stuff, but yeah, everything needs to go faster.
And what you just said is what worries us here in the Atlassian world about, well, what's the point of Jira at that point?
Oh, well, no, I think Jira is going to play a huge role. I think so? Yeah, because GitHub Issues also is playing a bigger role than it used to play. I don't know if it'll span to Jira, but I know for GitHub Issues, because it's part of like the GitHub platform, it's being used to like for the agents to have their backlog of things to work on. And then the agents have a backlog to just iterate on. Yeah. So having a backlog of planned items is still going to be needed.
Yeah. So in Juraville, you can assign agents to a ticket in Jira.
Oh, there we go.
And then then Atlassian has been developing something called RoboDev, which is their version of Copilot, of GitHub Copilot, where you assign some work to them. They take the description and the title of that ticket and then go forth and build code for you.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's going to play a bigger role in the next era.
So then what roles are safe and which roles are not safe, and which roles do we now need to invent to be able to survive in this economy?
Yes.
In this era.
In this industry.
Inventing more than we're saving.
Yeah, I think again, it's back to the whole context engineering, prompt engineering, knowing what an agent harness looks like, what guardrails. Like, if you let's say you're a DevOps engineer, right? What do? You create pipelines, you create PR rules, stuff like that.
I'm personally breaking things more than I'm creating, but just
Okay, well that's good.
So do we
Actually,
see, like the issue tracking tools like a Jira or GitHub Issues becoming the place where we define the guardrails, where we define the prompts, and that's where it's being stored. So we have a history of what we told AI to do.
yeah, you could see it that way, but I think another important aspect is, when you assign a ticket to an agent,
Mhm.
that agent is doing a thing, right? And that thing that it's doing, it has guardrails configure. It should have guardrail configurations on it, like what domains it can hit, what MCPs it can use, all of that stuff. That's the guardrails that is going to be a whole profession. Like it's.
But you need to string agents together, because you should have your MCP guardian that is on the lookout to see if any of these are being violated.
And that's part of the continuous AI bit, right? GitHub agentic workflows is like that, where it's like a scheduled jobs that create issues based on like your code base. It like looks at your code base. Maybe Jira has the same concept, but it still goes back to context engineering, prompt engineering, like knowing what agent to create, right? Knowing what a platform needs to create these issues. Yeah.
But you can't teach that.
Yeah, I know. I think that's something that's
experience.
That's experience, and that's what scares me. And that's why the education system needs to change. We need to, instead of teaching like lines of code, we need to teach systems. Like, how do systems work together? How do integrations work together? Prompt engineering was a thing, but models are so good now. You just need to be able to just say what's in your head, and I think that's so hard if you're not taught it.
But you gotta say what's in your head. But I think English is going to be even more important too, because if your English is choppy, like my wife's English is a second language, and she will mix two words up completely. I'm like, sweetie, that is one word means this and one word means that. They're not even in the same ballpark.
you bring in a really interesting point, which is maybe then emphasis on just general language. I guess what class is that? I sucked at English. I mean, reading and all that. I was really writing.
Language arts, man.
Language arts, exactly. That's going to be a lucrative field now, right?
That's a turnaround.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy how everything flipped. And then, everything is flipping. Like before, when everything was in the CLI, right? Everything was like command prompt. Yeah. And then we moved into this beautiful UI era where we created beautiful UIs. And now we're moving back into the command prompt era, right?
Well, some of us stayed in the command prompt.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there we go. Well, then you already won. You're already winning. But it's just fascinating. It's fascinating how everything's flipping. It's crazy.
It's definitely food for thought on. I like how we talked for 30 minutes, and I don't think we're any more advanced than we were 30 minutes ago.
No, it's
we'll have to repeat or revisit this. And
I don't mind. I don't mind talking about it again, because I truly am feeling for my fellow peeps that just got out of school, my fellow DevOps people that they don't even know it's coming. Like the developers that are in college, like they know they just got hit and they don't know what to do. But the DevOps people that are in enterprises, they're just running along, and then in 10 years or 5 years, they're suddenly just going to be dropped, right? Yep. And so you got to get them aware.
Yeah, I was Atlassian had a 10% layoff due to AI this weekend. One of the LinkedIn posts from an employee of Atlassian, they wrote, well, between they were on disability leave, and they're like, between my disability leave, the rapid pace of AI, like, you know what? I'm just gonna go. I'm writing this out into the sunset. I'm retiring. Like, some people are just exiting stage left because they're at that point of their life where there's no point. Like, you're relearning everything.
Yes.
But for the youngsters, like, I'm more worried. Like, my wife and I, like, we're both software engineers. So what what I ponder most about and what spends most of my time when I'm thinking is that 9-year-old that I have. I'm like, what future does this kid have? And how can I prepare him for that future? Because the schools ain't going to do anything for that.
100%. Oh my gosh, you really hit on a point for me. Yes. I think about that every single day. Like what do I, and I think one quote is, if he can find a profession that is centered around people, then he's somewhat safe, right? Like nursing is one that my wife does. I think the nursing aspect will stay intact. The doctor aspect may not stay intact, which is fascinating, right?
Yeah.
It's like backwards.
The expert, yeah.
And so
it's like all those low level, trades that were always looked at down upon are going to be the ones that survive.
Yes, it's so crazy. So yeah,
at least until the robots take over, because then we also have the movie Big Hero 6, and your nurse and your doctor is this big giant marshmallow thing.
Yeah, the marshmallow one. Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, that's maybe we shouldn't mention it, but like Elon's making some moves in this space.
Yeah, Alex is forbidden to talk about Elon.
Yes, we're not talking about it, but that scares me to a whole other different level.
Yeah, but I think so. I'm very excited and very bullish on AI, but what scares me is like, how the heck do you feed yourself? Because like, I just don't get how you were going to transaction skills for money at this point when the skill is a commodity.
Yes. Yep.
And so I'm not a big proponent of UBI. Maybe I'm not a big socialist person.
What's his name? Hansen, the guy from NVIDIA.
Jensen Huang.
Jensen. Yeah. Jensen said something that aligned with me. He said that, whenever the AI models came out for weather forecasting, they didn't fire the weather forecasters, they hired more. And that's because now the weather forecasters don't have to do the modeling anymore. They can focus on actually forecasting. And so I think his argument is AI is not going to, if it's going to replace the thing, like the coding, but it should
create more demand for the person that can conduct it.
Yes, exactly.
I'm not sure
that's his argument.
The market hasn't gotten that message.
I don't think that's the best metaphor for this, because they have really reduced the number of meteorologists out there on TV, and we're getting our weather from like 2 guys in Atlanta, and you're lucky if the local news has a specific person, or if they just cut to the to the corporate feed.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if anyone has argued that with him, but that's his argument. There's a bunch of other different arguments, but
I've heard similar arguments where like when the engine was made, it replaced the horse, but like it didn't mean we had less people getting places. Like we have more now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Same thing with airplanes. Like people are not moving more because you're flying more.
We get rid of our cars because airplanes exist. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
But AI is a whole different beast. I just feel like making money off of AI is what's hard. It's almost kind of like the problem that Amazon had with Alexa, right? Like Alexa was great, but they couldn't find a way to monetize it.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing that scares me is right now, it's actually easy to make money with AI, at least right at this very moment, right? Because everyone does, not the entire industry has known about it. So people were just creating startups left and right.
So you can make money if you leverage AI.
Yes.
Are the actual AI vendors making money? I would argue no. None of them are
AI
profitable.
vendors.
Like your OpenAI is bleeding money.
These are only surviving because investors just are believing the upside, whether it's true or not, and it's putting a lot of people out of work right now, and it's accelerating layoffs and things like that. But yes, if you want to found a company off of leveraging AI and marketing, there's a dozen of them that hit my feeds daily.
Look, I figured it out. I'm gonna go get myself an alpaca farm. I'm gonna build an agent that just copies Nancy Pelosi's stock trades, and then just retire. That's it.
That's great. That's great.
So what does the alpaca farm have to do with that?
I'm just gonna go live out on a piece of land. Like I'm just gonna let my money be managed by AI, and I'm just gonna live on a $5 a day income.
I've got some acreage that would be perfect for alpaca farm. I just haven't convinced my wife that I should be able to buy alpacas.
If none of this works out, I'm just gonna be a plumber, and I'm good with that.
But at least you died trying.
I died trying, exactly. Right. But yeah, it's just it's crazy.
All right,
right,
Hector, well,
Can we end this on a positive note?
what are you talking
Yeah.
about? This was a positive note. We're gonna dive
Yeah,
right.
Alex is gonna get an alpaca farm.
Oh, alpacas are pretty positive in
You're
their.
getting an alpaca farm and Hector's dying trying.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
living at what is that? 50 cents. 50
Yeah,
cents.
I'll try to end it on a positive. I'll try my best. All right. So I would say the positive is if you were to just dive straight into the agentic development era, there's a huge upside. Only if you fully dedicate yourself to making it your entire world. I think if anyone's listening about what to do in their career, find something in their career that aligns with agentic development or agentic in their area, and just dive into it. Even change your whole identity.
Because
And
like even at the local community, right? I think of like mom and pop shop restaurants, stuff like that, ordering supplies, ordering stuff,
Yes.
like all of that is orders of magnitude like of efficiencies that the businesses can then grow their business,
Yes.
right? Like
But-
tax scheduling,
yes.
integrating systems together. Like you can go around your local community and find ways to integrate systems together that normally don't integrate together.
And then also anyone that has a LinkedIn, take off software engineering off your role and just put agentic inspired software engineer. like literally just that. People will start to reach
Building
out.
agents.
Yeah,
Building agents that build
because-
the agents.
because that's what people are not getting reached out by recruiters. And if you just do that one thing,
Mhm.
you're gonna get hits, right? Like, and so
Yeah, all the recruiters will hit you up and ask
Exactly.
you for 10 years
Yeah, did
experience. AI
Yes.
tools.
Sean, did I tell you about my buddy over in the MCP side of the house? So I have a buddy. He has a company called Visor. They used to do a project management tool that would sit on top of Jira and would extract Jira data, Asana data, kind of aggregate your data into one view. So for teams that were like using Smart Sheets and Asana and a bunch of other tools in one, right? Well, about a year and a half ago, he got the MCP bug. Right, so he went in and spun off a whole MCP branch of his business and tripled down, quadrupled, 10x on MCPs. He sold his company on MCPs, and now he's like a chief creative officer of some company that bought him out. And like this was like just in 18 months. Like his Visor app he doesn't even touch it anymore. Like he doesn't even care about that Jira stuff anymore. They went so deep into MCPs that now he's like an authority in the MCP world.
wow.
You just got to find the wave and write it.
Yes, you got to write it exactly. That's what I'm doing.
We don't know how many more waves are coming. That's the
Yes,
sad part.
and it's working for me. I'm writing it really well, and so that's what I would suggest. Is just ride the wave. Don't try to
Don't try to
stop
fight it, man. Just do it.
Don't fight it. Just get
Write
on it.
and then make sure you write all the ones that follow it. Yeah.
Exactly. Try to find somewhere in there and just write it. Yep.
All right. On that note, subscribe, drop a like. Hector will send us anything to link down below. But we'll put all your links down below. So thank you all for watching.
Thank
Awesome.
you, Hector.
Thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.